What's up, Brick Houses? Today is arm day, and I'm going to teach you the exercises to make your arms bigger and more defined. So I've already started my workout with some warm-up sets. Always warm up your tendons more than you think you should. Your biceps will thank you, and so will your elbows. So I'm starting off with some easy bar curls, and I'm going to superset it with some rope tricep push downs. It's a good superset to start with to get some blood flowing and get my arms ready for my workout. So here we go. I've only got a 10 on each side of this right now, and I'm going for sets of 12. Going up, getting a good squeeze out of it. I'm going to push the weight on each set, but right now I'm just kind of warming up. I want to take it easy, get some blood pushed into my biceps and get them ready to work. I like starting off with a superset because it really gets the blood flowing through my arms. And the thing is, all right, triceps. Superset is any exercise done back to back with no rest. So a true superset, you do the first exercise and then turn and directly go into the next exercise. So this is rope tricep push downs. I'm keeping my elbow against my side, pushing all the way down. And if you notice, I'm kind of pulling the rope apart at the bottom to really maximize the contraction in my tricep. Really trying to bring out that horseshoe in my tricep. Again, the weight's not super heavy. We'll go up and pyramid our weights each set. One more time here. Good. So, just like all exercises, try to stretch between your exercises. Pull your arms back, get your biceps good and stretched out. We're not resting a long time. I'm gonna try to bombard my arms, get them wore out, and tax them as much as I can. But we are gonna take our weight up. So, I'm using an easy curl bar here. It weighs 15 pounds. Most gyms have these. If there's a chrome looking bar like this, it probably weighs about 15 pounds. They also have these where they're 30 pounds, 35 pounds, but most commercial gyms in the US anyway have 15-pound curl bars. It's called an easy curl bar because of the bend and the relief in the bar. And what that does is it takes pressure off of your wrists. So instead of like a straight bar where you're curling like that, that slight bend takes some pressure off the inside of your elbow there, and you won't get like tennis elbow or any kind of like tendon injury as easily with that. It's just a little bit easier. That's why it's called the easy curl bar. So taking the weight up another 20 pounds here, and let's pump it up. Let's get after it. That's better. Good reps. I'm trying not to swing the weight. I'm trying to curl up and squeeze the biceps every time I come up. Focus on that bicep. Don't cheat that negative. All right, I'm keeping the same weight on my triceps right now. Still getting just warmed up a little bit. I'm only coming up to parallel or just past parallel. If you do, just make sure your elbow stays pointing toward the ground. You've all seen the guy in the gym where he's standing back too far away from the machine. Looks like he's skiing. He's not getting anything done. Sure, he's moving the weight stack, but he's not working the muscle, and that's what we're doing this for. Last one, good. Now, good, one more set of those.
Get that good tricep stretch. You want to take that arm and try to put it down the middle of your back and pull that elbow over the top to stretch that tricep out.
Rope tricep pushdowns or tricep pushdowns in general are one of the biggest culprits for people doing it wrong in the gym. You see all kinds of crazy stuff. One of the things you see is people getting too far away from the pulley. They'll grab the handle, whatever it is, and stand back really far from it so the angle is all wrong on the pushdown. Or they'll get back here like this and they're moving their whole arm. And that's not a tricep extension. That's, I don't know what that is. That's like a back exercise or something, but still, I see it all the time in gyms. So stay close to the pulley. You want to imagine that coming right down straight off of that pulley, no matter what you're doing it from. That way you're not getting it into other muscles. Keep it close to the pulley, keep your form tight, and you won't have to go near as heavy on your stuff to affect the muscle. So we'll rest for just a second. We're gonna take that up one more notch, snag a couple fives, go with 25 on each side. Some weight on here. So I do want to add this. If you're doing enough compound exercises in your workouts, you don't have to work arms all the time. That's not something that you should just always do. I rarely do just a solo arm day. I'm not coming in here like, all right, today it's arm day. That's great, but if you're doing enough compound multi-joint movements, you shouldn't have to focus on your arms too much unless you just have a lagging biceps or triceps. But for me, if I throw in a weekly arm day, I end up getting tendonitis pretty bad because I'm doing so many other presses and pull downs and chin ups and things like that. So just watch your overuse there. If you're one of those people that can get away with it, hey, by all means, work it. Get it in there. All right, last set of these. Let's pump them up. See if we can get a good set of these. Oh, that was good. All right, let's take this weight up too. Take it up another plate. Let's pump this one. Again, keep your form solid. Don't take your weight up so much that it's messing up your form. Focus on that contraction at the bottom, squeeze it out. And like I said, I'm separating this rope at the bottom, but as I fatigue and it gets harder to do that, it just starts going straight down, and that's fine too. Good, all right, so coming up next are alternating bicep curls. One of the best bicep exercises you can do. I can't say enough about it, so we're just gonna dedicate a whole segment to that. I'll see you over to rack. Probably the king of all bicep exercises is alternating bicep curls. You can focus on the rep, you can focus on the contraction. Each bicep curl is its own little world, and that's the way you gotta treat these. And so I'm gonna start with 30-pound dumbbells here and go up each set. The thing I see most guys doing in the gym is they get carried away with the weight on these, and they're going so heavy that they end up sacrificing their form and not really getting much out of the exercise and into their bicep. With each one of these, the most important thing is I'm starting with the palm facing up, curling all the way up, and then lowering my palm all the way down. That's very important with this. The traditional way I see a lot of people doing them is like this. So they're not really getting a peak contraction until they get to the top of that. I want to start with the palm facing outward, curl up, and then lower it, feeling that negative. You want to think about this as a bunch of segmented, broken up little exercises. Don't worry about rolling through the set really fast. Take your time with these. Don't just let the weights drop. Lower them slowly down to your side. So that negative is just as important as the positive. I wanna pick a weight that I can get at least 6 to 8 reps on each side. This isn't something I'm doing super high reps where I'm just trying to pump it out. I'm trying to change this muscle and affect its peak so my biceps look bigger. I mean, what are we here for, you know? I'm gonna go for one more on each side. Yeah. So, some people prefer to do that exercise seated. That's great too. That keeps you from swinging the weight and throwing your body into it, then I'm all about that. Try to keep your form as crisp and clean on that as you can. You'll get a lot more of it in your biceps. It doesn't matter the weight. Big weight is a byproduct of good form. If you've got good form with lighter weight, you'll end up doing heavier weight because of your good form. But if you push the weight too much and your form gets sacrificed, you're stuck. You're not gonna get any stronger. You're probably gonna injure yourself and you're not gonna get anything out of the workout. I mean, we're here to get bigger muscles. It's pretty much what all guys go to the gym for. Get in better shape, lose some weight, but hey, everybody wants big pecs and big biceps. And if you wanna do that, keep your weight light enough where you can actually handle it and get good reps out of it. Crappy reps deliver crappy muscles. So I'm gonna rest for just a second. I'm gonna take that up to 35s on the next one. And I stretch a lot in between sets. I tend to get tendonitis pretty bad, so I will stretch those muscles and warm them up a whole lot. And that's when you should stretch, is in between your sets. That's what you do. Not check Instagram, stretch your muscles. You can answer all those DMs later when you get bigger biceps. All right, take it up to 35s. Try to hold the same form. Now there's a line that I cross on these. Once I get a little bit heavier than 35s, my form starts going away. I can still hold pretty decent form with this weight. Palm up, then palm all the way down. Keep it up, keep it facing upward the entire time. Really pay attention to that negative, especially when you start getting fatigued. It starts getting to be the end of the set. Milk that last negative out. And that's it. That one. All right, so that was pretty tough. I probably should stick at 35s, and I think I'm going to. Unless I wanted to move into doing hammer curls, which recruits different muscles in your arm. If you're doing a hammer style curl, you, instead of holding it with your palm up, you would hold it like you would a hammer in your hand. That's why it's called hammer curls. When you do that though, traditional bicep curls with your palm up is focusing on the peak of your bicep, the big punch of your bicep. When I rotate my arm around, you can see my bicep kind of roll down and the top part of my forearm go up. That's because it's hitting that brachioradialis on top of your forearm. So if you're trying to beef up your forearms, then definitely do some hammer curls. You can also usually go a little bit heavier when you do hammer curls because you are using some of your forearm muscles. But for our purposes today, we're working on peak of the bicep. So we're gonna stick with just traditional alternating bicep curls. I don't even know how many reps I got that last set. I just went to failure. I know that there's probably more than 6 or so, so I'm good. I could probably go up to 40 and I might get a few reps, but I'd rather keep my rep range somewhere between 6 and 8, 10, something like that. I just feel like I get more out of it and it's not as much stress on my elbows. So I'm gonna rest a few more seconds and I'm gonna go again. Now, my rest periods in all of these workouts that I'm showing you aren't very long. You shouldn't be resting a long time. Unless you're trying to PR a deadlift or something, don't rest longer than a minute, minute and a half. I mean, if I'm doing a bench press and I'm trying to get stronger and heavier on that, I'm gonna rest a long time. I'm gonna let my strength come back. But if I'm trying to get a good pump and I'm trying to increase the size of that muscle, I'm not gonna rest that long. I'm not gonna rest no 2-3 minutes in between sets. A lot of times your pump gets diminished, the workout effectiveness goes down, and I waste way too long in the gym. If you're coming in and you're doing a 2 body part, 3 body part workout and it's taking you longer than 45 minutes, you're doing something wrong. You need to call me. I'll show you something different. So I'm gonna do one more set with 35s. Here we go. Keeping that good form, really focusing on that squeeze at the top and feeling that negative. In textbooks, they tell you that it should take you 2 seconds to lift the weight, 4 seconds to lower it. That's a long time. If we were to follow that, we'd be here all day. Just focus on lowering the weight, slow, lifting the weight up, and then trying to control it on the way down. That way you're not counting every move that you make in here. Pay attention to the negative is what I'm trying to say. Don't just drop your arms. Resist the urge to kip your body to get the weights to come up. We're getting there. Right arm is definitely stronger. Last one on this side. Oh. Whew. So if you pay attention to your rep speed, your rep quality, and the contraction at the top of it, you'll get so much out of that exercise. Alternating bicep curls. All right, coming up next, one of my favorite tricep supersets. I'll see you at the bench. So, my favorite tricep exercise of all time is nose breakers or skull crushers. The real name for this, I think, is a lying French curl. But skull crushers and nose breakers definitely sounds more badass than a lying French curl, doesn't it? So we're gonna superset this. We're gonna get 12 skull crushers and then we're gonna get 12 close grip presses back to back. And that will fry your triceps. The weight I have on this is moderate. I'm not gonna go so heavy on this that it's gonna put too much pressure on my tricep tendon. Again, I'm trying to avoid tendonitis and I'm wanting this to be a long-term thing. Get your weight up there if you need to, but also try to be careful with your tendons. So I'm also gonna have a narrow grip on this Easy Curl bar. Again, I'm using a 15-pound Easy Curl bar with 40 pounds on it. So kicking back, and I'm gonna show you a way to lay down with this too, so you don't injure yourself. I've seen more people injure themselves getting up and laying down with dumbbells and bars than I ever have them actually performing the exercise. So there's definitely an art to laying down with your weights and getting up with them and finishing the exercise. And so start off with this across the top of your thighs, and I'm gonna have a wide grip on it on the outside of my thighs. I'm gonna pull it back to my waist. As I lay back, I would let it roll in and press it up. Then I bring my hands in. Notice I have my thumbs wrapped around the bar and not like this. This is called a death grip, okay? Or the Texas death grip or Arkansas death grip, whatever you want to call it. Keep your thumbs on it. You'll end up hurting yourself over time. I'm gonna lower this down to the top of my head, forehead, bridge of my nose, hence the name nose breakers. Don't hit your nose. We're not aiming for our nose. We're aiming for our eyebrow. I'm keeping my elbows pointing toward the ceiling as I press up. Now, I don't have my elbows pinned inward. I'm letting them flare a little bit. That's fine. As long as you don't turn it into some press, you're okay. That slight flare will take pressure off of your elbows. Again, taking care to lower the weight carefully down toward my head, really maximizing the time under tension. All right, here we go. Now, right directly. Pressing up quickly. I'm done. I'm gonna bring my knees up, set it on my knees, and let it bring me up. And there I am. I'm in upright position. And I didn't get a hernia setting up. Whew, that will work your triceps. I'm gonna sit here, stretch on those triceps. And I'm gonna stay in this position the entire time. I'm gonna keep that weight on the second set. That felt pretty good. It didn't hurt my elbows. I'm gonna stick that way. So this exercise hits the entire part of the tricep. The inner, the long head of the tricep, the short head of the tricep, or the outside. Part of your tricep right here, this is the short head of your tricep. This long head of your tricep, or the one that runs all the way to your elbow, is on the inside of your arm. And to truly hit that part of your tricep, your arms need to be out away from you. Now, they're working if they're against my side, but they're targeted more if I've got it out in front of me or just straight up over my head. And so that's why these are so good, is because it's hitting everything in your tricep. Rope tricep pushdowns, I feel like, hits the short head of your tricep a little bit more. And that's why you see a lot of people overdeveloped on that tricep more so than this inner part. And you're not gonna get good definition out of your tricep unless you develop all three heads of your tricep. You gotta hit the short head, the inner, and the long head of the tricep to get that good horseshoe shape out of your tricep there. Triceps look good. If I asked a little kid to show me his muscle, they'd do this. Most people think I could get bigger muscles. Your tricep takes up 70 or more % of your upper arm mass. If you can look right there, that's the edge of my tricep, and it runs all the way around to right there. So if you're trying to get your arms bigger, it's all about tricep work. It's also one of the biggest movers for any presses, like bench press, dumbbell press, overhead press. If you're pushing it away from your body, you're getting a lot of triceps into it. If you spice it up with just a few exercises to kind of define those muscles and bring out the lines, you'll win. Let's get another set. Here we go, close grip. Press them out. Bring your knees up, set the bar on your knees and let it set you up. All right. We're gonna take that up a little bit for this last set. Let's go ahead and sauce it up a little bit. Throw some fives on there. Get a little bit heavier on that last one. We handled those two sets pretty good. I'm good and warmed up, so I feel like it's safe to go ahead and throw some more weight on there. Rest just a second. Get your strength back. So, like I said before, arm day shouldn't be something that's happening all the time. You should be focusing more on compound multi-jointed movements to get your arms bigger, because they're such a small muscle. They get taxed a lot when you're doing those big body exercises. You'll get a lot more out of it that way. Throw an occasional arm day in there if you have a lagging body part, if you want to get your biceps bigger, if they're not responding right, or if you're lopsided, if you're not symmetrical. I know a lot of people that have a deltoid mass bigger than the other one, or a bicep bigger than the other one, just from everyday use. Maybe they played some kind of sport. Maybe they were a pitcher in high school or college and their right deltoid's way bigger. That's when you would throw in those individualized, isolated, exercises to try to bring out that lagging body part. So we're gonna do one more set of these. Let's get it. Took the weight up, a little bit heavier. Here we go. Couple more. Super set. All right, so Whew, pretty good arm day so far. We got one thing left. Of course, we're gonna do a finisher. Love finishers. It just lets me know if what I've done in my workout, if it's been enough or not, and it makes sure that whatever I'm working is truly pickled and toasty. So, finisher coming up for you. Finisher time. So, we're gonna do one more last superset for our arms. We've got a good pump going on. I definitely feel this arm workout, and the last thing we're gonna do is another bicep, tricep superset, or tricep bicep. Rope overhead extensions to just bicep curls. I'm going for 10 reps on each one of them. But here's the trick, it's non-stop. I'm not resting in between the sets. It's gonna be here, then here, here, then here, non-stop, 3 rounds. That should cook it. I've got the weight set on a moderate amount here. I may have to lower it part of the way through it. That's okay. Again, I'm trying to tax the muscle, and I'm not worried about that pin going lower and lower and trying to get heavier and heavier. That's gonna happen just by sheer work. But for right now, as toasted as I am, we're gonna keep it where it's at, maybe go lighter. So, overhead tricep extensions. Like I said before, long head of your tricep runs from here all the way to your elbow. And if you look on here, if you can see it on my arm, it runs all the way down your elbow and it frings out that tricep really nicely on the side. And so the way to get that muscle hanging off your arm like that is to work that long head of your tricep so your tricep actually looks deeper from the side. If you're just doing push downs with your elbows against your side, you're not gonna get the definition in your tricep that you're looking for. So I do a lot of things where my elbows are either up over my head or extended out away from my body so it incorporates that other part of my muscle. So enough talking, let's go ahead and kill ourselves with this. So grabbing hold of the end of the rope, I'm taking a step outward with my elbow pointing toward the mirror here in front of me. When I go back, I'm not letting it pull my elbows back out of place. I'm keeping them pointing straight ahead. And I want that cable put to where it's not hitting me on top of the head either. I want it coming down at such an angle that's lining up at the same direction that my elbows are pointing, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna pivot right around. I'm gonna go with an inside grip on this bar. Really squeeze on that bicep. All right, here we go, back into it. Stepping out, elbows forward. Now we're getting there. Here we go. If you see, I've got my elbows pulled back and I'm not bringing this way out in front of me. I'm bringing this up to where it's close to me so I get a bigger contraction at the top of the movement. Last time. Now, really feeling it now. But it gets, again, I always say it's all about effort that you're putting into the workout. It's not necessarily how fancy the program is. You can have the best program written by the best trainer on earth, and it's gonna be completely worthless if you're not able to push yourself to failure or to that point of exertion where you really have to strain to get something. I'm not talking about to the point where it's unhealthy or hurting you, but you're gonna have to push until you're grunting and groaning a little bit against the weight to get your muscles to change and adapt. Whew, and that is arm day. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like this post. Appreciate you tuning in. Drop down in the comments if there's a certain body part you want me to give you a how-to on. See you, brick houses.